You know what this means? There's another Star Wars movie. Star Wars Rogue One. Star Wars Rogue One is directed by Gareth Edwards and stars a slew of actors and actresses, including Felicity Jones, Mads Mikkelsen, Ben Mendelsohn, Diego Luna, Riz Ahmed, and a bunch of others. Oh, Donnie Yen's also in this. And is about this movie is about the connective tissue between episode 3 and 4, especially episode 4. This movie basically shows how the rebels steal the Death Star. And it's so good. It's so good. It exceeded my expectations. Just to give a little background, this was my most anticipated film of the year. And yeah, again, this exceeded my expectations. I was wearing the shirt that my friend Julie Ju gave me, which is great. Yes, I did wear it to the theater, Julie. Again, thank you so much for this shirt. I was so happy when I got it. Anyways, yes, this movie is great. Let's start off with the performances. Yeah, you have Felicity Jones, who plays Jyn Erso. And she was she was, for lack of a better word, orphaned when she was young. And when she starts off really pessimistic and very cynical because of what she's been through, and then she becomes more optimistic near the end. And when she pulls out the emotional scenes that are required, it's done really, really well, and I felt the emotion. Diego Luna plays a rebel intelligence officer and shows a new side to the rebellion, that the rebellion isn't as clean as we see them to be. And yeah, it gives a very nice look into the atrocities both the rebels and the Empire created. Donnie Yen's character, who plays a Force-sensitive being, he's completely badass and he kicks ass, and it's just really fun. And he has a really wonderful chant he does. I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, he's a really nice character. And the great thing about this movie is, unlike so many other movies of like this, scale and scope, and you're just like, yeah, they're not going to die, but like in this movie, you don't know if any of these characters make a new hope, and just to feel that sense of dread. The best character in this movie is K2SO, played by Alan Tudyk, and he's just, oh my gosh, he's so funny, and he's so hilarious, and he just brings a lot of like the levity into this movie. And yeah, the theater erupted multiple times for his jokes. What Gareth Edwards does in this movie, in a similar way that he did with Godzilla, was in Godzilla he made you feel like that Godzilla was like huge and that sense of scope. In this, similarly, you look at, say, the Death Star, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I've never seen a Death Star. It looks so effing huge. Or like a Star Destroyer. Oh my gosh, that's a huge, the fact that a Star Destroyer is hovering over a city, and there's a scene where you just look up when you're inside the city. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And that's what I love about Gareth Edwards as a director, that sense of scope. And then the action scene near the and the third act is just wonderful, and it's like very gritty, realistic, and like the CGI included in this is so good. It's like, yeah, it might be even better than Force Awakens. You're just like looking at the detail and the rendered objects. Some of the like ships look like models, but like if it's models, props to them. If not, even more props to them because it looks so realistic. The design in this movie is on point. A lot of callbacks to the original trilogy, like the way the stormtroopers look, and also new elements. But yeah, I remember like one of my friends just talking about like the uniforms and how great it looks, and it looks great, and just like it's the design is like continuity wise is on point with A New Hope, that you believe that this movie takes place before A New Hope. There's also a lot of great Easter eggs in this movie. Number one, Darth Vader. I wish Darth Vader was in this movie more, but when he's in it, he's great. He's just wonderful, and he gives probably the best single line in the movie, and I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's just so Darth Vader-esque. I wish he was in it more. I really do, but for what I got of Darth Vader, I am happy. The other Easter eggs that are attached to this include a lot of old characters, which I do really like. Some of them include motion capture of certain characters that are either too young, or the original actor or actress has passed away, something like that. And it's like very uncanny. It's like the uncanny valley, but for what they did, it's actually really good. Like, if I didn't know these characters, I'm sure I would have been like, oh, these are just regular people. But they did a really good job. I would say, though, that the person who voiced one of the characters, the voice was a little not too on point, but that can be forgiven a little bit. Although, yeah, you probably could have gotten a voice actor to do a better job with the voice. I think, yeah, I remember that voice very distinctly in my head. And yeah, they didn't do so hot with the voice. It was okay. There's also for Easter eggs, there's a bunch of like old characters that you've seen in the prequels that also show up again, that aren't recast and everything, and their presence in the film makes sense, and age-wise also makes sense. There's one Easter egg that was very out of place, and it was kind of fun, but I wish it was a little bit jarring. But that being said, fan service, Easter eggs was done really well. So no, this movie is not perfect, unfortunately. It's a great movie, but there are a few flaws. Let's talk about Orson Krennic's character. Overall, I did like his character and the performance. I feel like his character is like, oh, it's like you got that bully in school, but he's not in the inner circle of like the really, really big bullies. He'll pick on the small bullies, but he just can't get on that top of that, like, the bully of the school. And it's kind of fun in like a Game of Thrones or like a very House of Cards-esque fashion. But I will say, I wish he was a little bit more menacing. He is menacing to a point, but it's a little bit like a fall from grace kind of story for this character. It's okay. It's just a little bit like more of a preference, I guess. Saw Gerrera, his performance by what's his name? But it's a little bit, it's like, I think Chris Stuckman put it the best. It's like if someone like stepped on your throat, and go, I can't do it. I can't do it. But it's like really off. It's kind of weird, and it's just like, yeah, it could have been better in terms of the character and the performance. I feel like this leading to my other complaint. The first act could have been slightly better, more like the beginning. The beginning was like, oh, here's all these planets and here's where all our characters are. I feel like it could have been cut a little bit better, and like a little bit more cohesion. It's a minor complaint. And this movie, of all the movies, needed an opening crawl. The fact that a lot of people don't know what this movie takes place exactly, you need an opening crawl saying it's been X amount of years since, the Empire became, formed from the Republic, their tyranny, You needed this very much. Especially the way this movie starts. It could have literally came off an opening crawl. I think that was a really missed opportunity. I hope they do a bunch of opening crawls for the anthology movies. I think they needed that. And the score by Michael Giacchino is passable. It's not memorable. I don't think I will... it's not like The Force Awakens where it creeps up on you, the score. I just think it's very standard. There's a lot of great callbacks to A New Hope, with the Rebellion theme, and like the Imperial March, but I will say I wish there was more complexity to the score. And they also, Giacchino also adds Princess Leia's theme in there, like subtly, because the theme goes da 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 da, and there's like motifs or like certain notes from there. It seems a little off. I would suggest, after watching this movie, to read the book Rogue One Catalyst. It sets up a lot of things for this movie, and for me, I think it added to the emotion too, because it was like a lot of the things about Jyn Erso and his family and Orson Krennic you get to learn. So yeah, pick up the book, and the next time you watch Rogue One, you're gonna get even more emotional, if that's even possible. Yeah, so where does this movie rank in my top movies of 2016? It's probably number 2, after sitting on it. This movie is great, but it's not perfect. My number 1 film, Arrival, it's a near perfect movie. It's interesting conceptually. And it's just a great movie. This movie is wonderful. It is a masterpiece, but it has a few problems. The third act definitely completely makes you forget whatever happened or whatever faults there were in the first act. But still, objectively, Arrival is a better movie. But this being a number 2 movie doesn't decrease its status as a wonderful movie. I'm gonna give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. I want to watch this again. I want to watch A New Hope. This is such a good movie. It exceeded my expectations. I'm so happy I watched it. So, thank you guys for watching. And comment, subscribe to this video, and I will see you in the next review. And may the Force be with you.